Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our public meeting. So I'm very happy today. We're going to have a special guest talking about prevention of suicide. So I'm going to sing a couple of songs. So I hope you can open your heart, prepare yourself, prepare your place to absorb all the teachings that she's coming to bring tonight. So the first one is vibrate. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. So let's vibrate positive vibrations. Now I'm gonna sing another song called Love in Action. Oh Jesus, here I am, my knees on the floor, to say thank you, my Lord, for the lights that come through this door. Your love is the key to change the entire world. Using these chains wisely, we will live in peace and harmony. Now understand. Helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all this transformation, you just have to put love in action. Now I understand. Helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all this transformation, you just have to put love in action. Now I'm back. I'm gonna sing two more songs. One is for Mother Zephyrina, a mentor that we have, and it's very important to understand, to absorb all those words, to make us to feel better. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold life, so more than comfort, so more than comfort, as kids from down the mountain, calling the children of earth, with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. harvest of wonderful blessings. Make your small son a good Christian. Make your small son a good Christian. In the last song, it's a popular song. Most of you know it, and dedicate our Mother Mary. So this spirit that guide the whole humanity is our mother, and starts. Mary, did you know that your baby boy one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know? Ooh. Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? This little child you holding is the great I am. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook, and we will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. East by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East. The new class started last Saturday, September 90th. However, if you are interested, we will be post the registration link in the chat so you can sign up and join us. We offer virtual live gospel at home. Did you know that? The gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family's spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing and maintaining the gospel at home study meetings. By posting in the chat, you can request it. Please let us know. You are welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list of positive vibrations for incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate will be assisted by good spiritists to provide healing energy and strength goodwill. Please find the link in our chat. Since 2014, the month of September dresses in yellow for a quite important reason. Created by the Brazilian Association of Psychiatry, the Yellow September campaign aims to raise the population's awareness about suicide prevention. So, the topic of today's special meeting is Joy of Living, related to the Yellow September, which will be facilitated by our sister Vanessa Anseloni from United States. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. Now, I'm going to do our opening prayer and then I invite our tonight's speaker. Okay, so I invite everyone to close our eyes if you wish. Elevate our thought in our Master Jesus. Dear Lord, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to learn more about your teachings, about what you brought for us. We ask your love and your protection for us, for our family, friends, and for all the humanity, especially for the ones who are suffering now. May we learn about this so important topic of today's talk, and may we realize the joy of living. Help us to always remember that you, Jesus, is our guide and model. And if we follow your steps, we will be good spirits. We ask the good spirits to inspire our tonight's speaker, Vanessa, and we ask you to stay with us today and always. So be it. Now I invite our tonight's speaker, Vanessa Anseloni. Welcome, Vanessa.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Marceli and friends from Spiritism Canada. It's a
How
joy
are
to be both
you?
here.
I'm so happy to have you today again. So welcome
Yes.
back.
Me too, Marceli.
I'll see you later, okay?
All right, I'll see you then. Friends, as Marceli said, this month of September is dedicated to suicide prevention worldwide. Yes, the World Health Organization, together with the International Association for Suicide Prevention, and um, each country, they have dedicated the day of September 10th, but also the month of September, to preventing suicide. Suicide, as they say, is a major public health problem with far reaching social, emotional, economic consequences, as they say in the website of the World Health Organization about this very campaign. This year, in 2013, the campaign has been named Creating Hope Through Action. Right, Luby? Yes, you want to say hi to your friends. Come here, come here, come here. Yes, say you can prevent suicide. You can. You're not yellow, right? You're golden. Reminding everybody there is hope. Don't run away because there's always joy. You're right. Thank you, Lupi. So, unexpected Lupi came here to remind us of hope. Yes, hope, as says the very title of the campaign worldwide, Creating Hope Through Action. That's the slogan. And for us, we need to know that there is an estimation that currently more than 700,000 people commit suicide per year in the world. 700,000. Not only the people who discarnate are affected, but those who stay, profoundly affected by their actions. So here we are joining forces with this international effort through Spiritism Canada and Cardiac Radio to talk about joy. Think about this. People may tell you the world is in chaos. Is it? Which world are they talking about? Because the world that we come to know here, it's becoming more and more beautiful, more and more organized. More and more, there are people in the world who are willing to reach out, who are willing to share what they know. And here, how we're going to begin with Master Jesus. He told us, as reported in the book Good News by Humberto de Campos through Chico Xavier, it's chapter 8. Bartholomew was one of the most dedicated disciples of Jesus. But deep inside, he was frustrated, irritated, downcast, to the point that the master noticed that he needed a hand. At some point, Jesus approached him and asks, "What's happening, Bartholomew?" And he says, "Master, I don't understand. What you say is phenomenal, it's beautiful, it brings me hope. But I can't be joyful yet because look at my brothers. They're always picking on me. Look at my father. My father's always bullying me. And my companions at work, they always put me down. My mom died. Can't I be sad just because she died? She was the only one who loved me." And then Jesus, in an immortal dialogue, he replies with a loving smile of understanding. He says, "Bartholomew, have you heard of good news that do not promote joy? Yes, the disciples, those who follow the good news that I bring, they have a threefold trademark. One, hope. Two, courage. And three, joy." He kept on explaining it to Bartholomew in such a way that he got it. He got it so deeply, he understood that his life deep inside depended solely on him and his relationship with God. But what about us? You may say, Vanessa, it's easy for Bartholomew. He had Jesus. Well, don't you think you do as well? Who doesn't have Jesus with them? Who doesn't? So I'm going to share um, a slide or two. Hold on a second. Let me just share a slide here with you. Yes, let me see if it's, yeah, is it? Uh, I just need to share the screen of the slide. Thank you, friends. You know, I agree with you, friends, that sometimes this joy of living doesn't come naturally. And it didn't come naturally either to the famous pianist and composer Sergei Rachmaninoff. He was Russian. He studied with the very Tchaikovsky. And interesting enough, he, at some point early in his teenage years, he composed his first symphony. When presented in the beautiful theater in Moscow, the next day the critics were brutal with him, saying that his concert was like the song of hell. That created a huge impact on him to the point that he decided to take a break. He said, I don't think I can compose or even play anymore. He entered this deep depression, which was actually the byproduct of another frustration. He was in love with one of his cousins and he couldn't marry because the church at the time didn't allow the marriage of cousins. So for him, the life was over, completely over. Till the day a friend of his came to him. Let me just show a few pictures here. In his experience of depression, a friend who was also a musician said that he heard about the power of hypnosis. For us, we're going to call it visualizations. And in this power, he introduced Sergei to visualizations, therapeutic visualizations. He started focusing his mind on the positive, thinking of the good, thinking of success and accomplishment, thinking of love, thinking of hope, feeling the joy of living, little by little, doing that practice every day. He actually turned it all around, composed a beautiful concert in tribute to his friend, the pianist. Later, the church also released him the right to marry his cousin, and Sergei Rachmaninoff became the composer and pianist that we know to date. He changed the course of classical piano and concerts and symphonies thanks to the power of the positive thinking, thanks to the power of visualizations, therapeutic visualizations. And to date, we get to know of many of his concerts around the world, delighting people's minds. Visualizing his inner success, he achieved what he needed. You think it's just a thing of Sergei Rachmaninoff? No. In psychology, we have the field of sports psychology, in which psychologists are trained to help athletes, soccer players, and others, to help in whatever they can regarding the success of their achievements. And we got to know exactly what it is. We get to know that by visualizing it, the race, the game, every day they achieve success. This is the science of sports psychology telling us about the power of positive thinking, of visualizations, of focusing on the good, seeking the good, as Emmanuel says in chapter 10 of the book Thought and Life. Seeking the good, feeling the good, visualizing the good, and molding the good with all the resources we have at hand. In this science of visualizations, therapeutic visualizations, we have come across studies that are reported in this book, The Intention Experiment, Using Your Thoughts to Change Your Life in the World, by Lynn McTaggart. She shows to us compelling evidence in neuroscience that our brains cannot tell the difference between what is real and what's imagined. In an experiment with a group of skiers, they tested the muscle response in electromyography, discovering that when people were visualizing, mentally rehearsing their downhill runs, the electrical impulses sent to the muscles were the same as when they were physically engaged in the runs. So when you and I browse through the internet, through social media or movies, etc., and we say, oh, it's just a movie, oh, I'm just reading, or I'm just this. Actually, when we're doing that, we're actually living what we're watching. We're actually living what we're feeling. The brain does not distinguish. So, in a month and a half, it's going to be Halloween in North America, in many parts of this world. The American tradition is spread out, and people like to watch horror movies, spooky movies. I wouldn't do that, because when you do it, you are actually entering that frequency of fear, because that's what the horror movies are all about, inducing fear. And fear is a powerful, powerful, dangerous feeling, especially when we are allowing ourselves to feel it without any particular purpose. And in this case, they call it for entertainment, which is quite sadistic. And in a way, not only sadistic only from those who share it, but also it's masochistic for those who actually watch it. In Spiritism, Genesis chapter 14, Kardec explains to us that our thoughts create living images. If you think, he says, of killing somebody, we're 50% closer to it. So, another compelling evidence about the power of visualizations is by Dr. Srini Pillai, who was already interviewed at Kardec Radio many times. Dr. Srini Pillai has books and research from Harvard University showing to us that stroke patients who imagined moving the affected limb or limbs, they promote greater blood flow in the brain, exactly in the affected areas, and the tissue death is minimized. So basically, visualizing is not a thing of another dimension simply. It affects us physiologically. Dr. Herbert Benson from Harvard University, studying the relaxation response, shows to us that when we're doing meditations, we are also affecting our gene expression. We may tame gene expression that may be pernicious to us, like cancer. And on the reverse, we may also activate good genes of longevity and other things that may be healthy for us. So when we are meditating, visualizing, doing affirmations, we're not going cuckoo. Scientifically, it's proven both by the material science and the spiritist science. Dr. Srini Pillai says that there are two conditions for visualizing successfully. First, we need to visualize in the first person. To engage, he says, your action brain in the process of taking you towards the goal. So it's not a broad visualization. Let's say I want to reconcile with someone. So I would visualize myself approaching that person, smiling. This person would smile back, and we would talk peacefully, embrace each other, and I can feel that embrace and good constructions together in the future. That's how I would visualize in the first person. It's me in the picture. If I would visualize myself succeeding at a test, I would visualize myself seated, taking that test calmly, easily approaching each question, acing at the test. And I would visualize all the questions and then the A plus at the end. If I want to be patient, I need to learn to visualize myself being patient. And that's where we fall short, because many people are going to say, Vanessa, I can see myself patient. Well, if you can't, then you won't achieve it. We need to visualize it first, because everything begins in the mind. The same for people who think of suicide. If you keep talking about it, contemplating it, you're pushing yourself to it. So cut it in the first thought. That idea came across, quickly get a book, quickly get a small book, open. Wow. Do not forget that we are the reflex of what we think. See, I just opened in this very page in a book in Portuguese, which was right here with me. I didn't select the page beforehand to show to us that that's exactly what we're talking about. If today I'm thinking of suicide, it's because I've been contemplating the idea before. So we need to help ourselves by substituting every single and minute thought and feeling about it. The first thing we can do is to visualize ourselves strong, protected. Visualize yourself being embraced by Jesus. He's the governor of our planet. If you're feeling weak, we're strong in Him. Tell yourself, I am strong in the Christ, and visualize yourself being embraced by the Christ. Visualize, feel Jesus' hands transmitting His strength to you. And feel, I'm strong in Him. Feel yourself protected. And then Dr. Srini Pillai is going to disclose to us that the second information we need to make visualization successful is to feed the information to your brain in small fragments, digestible fragments. And that's what we're just saying. If you are afraid of leaving your house because something is going to happen, Visualize yourself being escorted by Jesus. Visualize him by your side, seated in your car, talking with you, supporting you, strengthening you, embracing you. And in that, we're building exactly what we need. This information that we just shared, not about Jesus, but about how to make visualization successful, is in the book Life Unlocked, 7 Revolutionary Lessons to Overcome Fear by Dr. Pillai. And he says that the biggest roadblock to happiness is fear. So you and I cannot live in fear. We need to support ourselves in the courage and hope and joy of living, as Jesus said. He says that brain imaging studies reveal that when we are in fear, we can reframe it, and then the person can become less fearful. So, to overcome fears, which many people after the pandemic became more fearful, because we spent quite a few years under fear, now we need to detox from that fear. How do we detox? We need a north. We need a therapy, and that's the Christ consciousness, which brings us security, which brings us this inner strength, this opportunity to stay strong amidst doubts, amidst challenges, problems of all sorts, right? Yes, Lupi. Just to remind ourselves that there's compelling evidence in neuroscience, especially by Dr. Andrew Newberg, who produced all these beautiful pictures that were once published in New Weeks magazine. When Dr. Newberg, who was also interviewed at Cardiac Radio, he studied extensively the effects of thinking of God, praying, of meditating, doing visualizations, reading religious passages, showing that different areas of the brain become affected by our religious states and connections. So, visualizations, prayers, meditations are not a thing of imaginary land. They are impacting us physiologically so deeply that Dr. Newberg opened a new field of studies in neuroscience that he coined neurotheology. And it's quite compelling, the evidence that we have that our brains respond quite clearly to the experiences that are deeply positive, that are religious centered, that are spiritually driven. In a way, we could say that visualizations on the good is a soul liberation process. As Jesus said, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. But friends, let's put a pause. In the torments of our minds, of our feelings, if we keep cherishing fear, frustration, we will be attracting everything we don't want. Look at this. Jesus was the positive master. He said, focus on the light, focus on the good, focus on God. And you think at his time the world was worse than today? Better than today? It was worse than today, for sure. But he said, don't worry about it. Why? Because the evil around us is simply shadow. What is a shadow? Absence of light. So that's why Jesus, do not focus on the absence of light because you're focusing on emptiness. Focus on light. Light is force. Light is tangible. Light is something. Shadow Evil is the absence of light. So if we keep focusing on what people do to us, on what they don't do to us, on what we expect and never comes, we're focusing on the shadow. That's why we become anxious. That's why we become frustrated. That's why we become depressed. Like Sergei Rachmaninoff. The day he focused on the light, he recovered, he turned his life around. You and I today are being asked about what we're focusing on. What are you focusing on every day? So take a notebook, open, and start writing down. What kind of thoughts do we usually have? We need to track them. Because most often we aim at happiness once a day and we spend the rest of our thousands of thoughts in the opposite. And then things never happen. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. That's what Emmanuel said, in other words. Focus on the good. Seek it. It's not only asking. He said you have to make an effort. Nobody said we're going to achieve things just like that. And knock, meaning go, action. That's why the campaign, the international campaign by the World Health Organization and the International Suicide Prevention talks about creating hope with action. We need action. We need to spread the good news, good options, good tools, as we're doing together today. And that's why we share with you these beautiful therapeutic visualizations, which are meditations that Joana de Angelis gave through the medium Divaldo Franco. We produced these CDs when we were at the Spiritist Society of Baltimore together with Daniel Santos and Greg Stewart. And these CDs promote visualizations that will lead us to health. In the CD Health and Inner Journey, we can catapult ourselves. As Joana de Angelis said, meditation is an imperious necessity that imposes itself before any accomplishment. In meditation, you calm down your emotions and clarify your discernment, harmonizing your feelings. Joana de Angelis shared this with Divaldo Franco way before science proved that meditations and visualizations were effective. I remember in 2006, when the Dalai Lama came to Washington, D.C., with a group of Buddhist monks, together with Nobel Prize neuroscientists, he was helping neuroscientists research on the power of meditation in the brain. It's quite tangible. So much so that we should practice more often. So, first question here is, do you meditate? Do you do visualizations? How can we change our lives if we don't know what we're asking, what we're seeking, what we're knocking? We need this inner introspection, this reflection in order to strengthen ourselves. And another way for us also to achieve this joy of living is not only by visualizing, but action. As we know in Spiritism, without charity, there's no salvation. When Kardec, in the book, The Gospel According to Spiritism, says that without charity, there's no salvation, he's not saying without religion, without a philosophy, he's saying without love in action. And Dr. Stephen Post from Stony Brook University, a good friend of Spiritists around the world, he has a yearly report about It's Good to Be Good. and his book, The Hidden Gifts of Helping. So that's the joy of living. If you're not happy, think of people who are less happy than you are. Go help them out. If you say, but Vanessa, I live in a place where we don't see beggars in the streets, but there are shelters. There are places where nursing homes, where people need a boost of joy. Team up with your group, with your family. Go there. Make them sandwiches, cakes, or bring them music and joy so they can live a better life. By reaching out, I start gaining new memories, counterbalancing my sad memories, and thus having a new purpose in life and cherishing the joy of living. In visualizations, in affirmations, we may certainly gain a new ground to feel the joy of living. But don't leave it for tomorrow. Do it today. I know many people who say, yeah, when I finish this project, when my baby is grown up, when don't, because tomorrow doesn't exist, as Mentor Joseph says often. He says, Vanessa, tomorrow is just imagination, because it may not come for us. And he's right. And we have to do it today. Open your closet. There are probably pieces of clothes there that would make people joyful. Open your pantry. There are probably things in your pantry that would feed some other people. Bring them to food banks if you don't see people in the streets. Open your... I remember during the pandemic, we couldn't get together physically. But Mentor Joseph said to us here at the Spiritist side of Virginia, make no mistake. Start preparing yourselves because you will be back. Physically, prepare the center. And I said, okay, prepare what? He said, you see these many books you have, thousands of books that you and Carlos have, Vanessa. Donate to the center to form the Spiritist library in the Spiritist side of Virginia. After all, in Virginia, in the state of Virginia, near Washington, D.C., there is no Spiritist library. And that's what we did. We brought the books. Nobody was there yet. We bought the shelves. When people got back, the books were there. And then when we got back, we were able to catalog the books, and now it's available to everybody. And more people joined the project and donated more books. So I'm sharing this with you because sometimes, even in the midst of a pandemic, we have so many things. And now the pandemic is basically over, right? We're back to our lives, and we think we're going to be happy traveling. And I'll finalize with a true account by Chico Xavier. A young man came to him and said, Chico, I'm so depressed. I don't know what to do. What can you do to help me? And Emmanuel, through Chico Xavier, said, make people happy. Bring people joy, and joy will come to your life. Let's meditate on this as we open for comments and questions.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. It was so wonderful listening to you. Everything you brought to us, it's so important. This topic is so important, right? Thank you for your presentation reflections on this topic. Actually, we do have, if I'm not wrong, we do have one question.
Yes.
It's one. I'm gonna put the question here. 1 second. Yeah, thank you for the help. It's a question. It's my question. I was wondering when you were talking about like if you have this something like to track the thoughts, to write down and everything. But if I face someone who has suicidal thoughts, what Spiritism says to us to what can we do in this situation?
First of all, right, Marceli, embrace them with your loving kindness
Mm-hmm.
because they are in need of help. First of all, make sure that they have professional support.
Mm-hmm.
As a psychologist myself, I would never take lightly when people say I want to kill myself because people take it lightly. They say, no, they won't. No, they will.
Mm-hmm.
Don't doubt it. When people say, at the University of Maryland, I participated as a professional faculty of a task force in which we were on a call if people in the clinics, if they even mention like I have suicidal thoughts, we would be called to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, we wouldn't take it lightly. We would seek, we would say, let's find psychological support.
Mm-hmm.
Let's then find spiritual support.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer. Prayer is key because
Yes.
we're never alone, right,
Yeah,
Marceli?
it's true.
And then be side by side with this person. If they can come to a Spiritist center, I would invite them to receive the passes. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when someone attempted suicide.
Mm-hmm.
God, they didn't succeed. And this person was taken to an emergency hospital and emergency room at a hospital and then later to a psychiatric hospital. So we were there in those instances and talking with the person, we said, you can't do this. You need to look at them in the eyes and say, look, you will regret for immortality because what you're doing, you're not going to run away from your pain. On the contrary, you will
Yes.
multiply your pain.
Getting more and more right, bigger. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So kindly, we would say, you're a child of God. You can't do this, but we would share the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, just for those who are watching us, if you read the book Renunciation by Emmanuel Chico Xavier, you
Mm-hmm.
see one character, Antero, who kills himself. And at some point in the book, it shows to us the consequences
Mm-hmm.
and what he feels in the spiritual realm. But he reincarnates to heal himself. So there are consequences. But we would say, let's be side by side with this person in thoughts, in prayers, in spiritual support,
Mm-hmm.
psychological help, because there is hope, right, Marcelli?
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Vanessa. Yeah, we are very grateful for everything you brought to us this night.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your participation once again.
Thank you.
And thank you for your participation in the chat as well. Now we will move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy, positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the Pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So, once again, I invite everyone to elevate our thoughts, close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Dear Lord, we would like to thank you for this beautiful moment we had this night. Talking about joy of living is a way to understand that everything happens for a reason, and God's love teaches us that life is worth living. We ask for your mercy on all those who are suffering and have lost their joy for life, that they may receive your love and that you may heal their hearts. Please take care of all those whose name are on the vibration list and help them overcome their difficulties. And finally, we thank you for your love, your mercy, and for everything you have done for us. We, we ask your bless for this week, for this night, for everybody in the world. And please bless us and stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The Pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind, Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil. Washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and Spiritist group Path of the Light. Have a good night.
Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love, and this world already wonderful will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, in the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world.